Hey everyone, Zach from Atlanta Warhammer here, and today we're going to be talking about the Stormcast Eternals. So, let's go ahead and get this out of the way first. The Stormcast Eternals come from a pretty familiar design principle that Games Workshop has. You've got near unstoppable 10-foot tall demigods that fall from the sky, distinctive and unique helmets that their commanders never want to wear, color-coordinated chapters with specialties, and they're sent by a god king who probably makes more problems than he fixes. But, at least they don't have guns, except for all the ones that do have guns. Okay, so at first, it was pretty obvious that old G-Dubs wanted to relaunch the struggling fantasy brand with something a little closer to their other huge property, Warhammer 40k. But if you still think these golden boys are carbon copies of Space Marines, you've missed a lot of what makes the Stormcast really cool. Every Stormcast Eternal is a reforged human soul who has died, usually fighting off the forces of chaos. Sorting through the best of the best, Sigmar the God King selects the strongest souls for his crusade. Through a process of reforging, which is pretty horrible for the soul that actually has to go through it, the soul is given a new form, some sweet armor, and a hammer, or a gun, or a dragon, or both. Heck, there's even a tiger thing if you're into that, which according to my Facebook feed, literally everyone is. There is a drawback to this though. These new warriors are basically all amnesiacs, with only some of them remembering anything more than brief flashes of their previous lives. In the world of Warhammer though, that's probably not a terrible thing, considering a lot of your memories are going to be, let's run from the thing that wants to eat us, and hey, they're cutting off heads today. Anyway, once these warriors are reforged, they get to train in a super neat coliseum in Azir with Big Papa Sigmar, then it's off to the mortal realms to fight for peace, justice, and the total obliteration of chaos. But the Stormcast aren't just machines built for war, as we're now learning a lot more about the humans behind the masks. Most importantly, being reforged kinda sucks. When one of the Stormcast Eternals is killed in battle or falls in the shower, their soul rockets to the sky in a dramatic bolt of lightning, where it can be reforged again, and again, and again. However, with each reforging, the Eternal loses a little more of their personality and thoughts, and becomes more pure weapon than human. While this might sound good in a world where war is literally everywhere all the time, it becomes an issue when your Guardian Stormcast, who have watched over your township for generations, suddenly start rounding up all the sick people for incineration to prevent the spread of chaos. And what are you gonna do? Argue with Holy Paladin Thor riding a dragon? Not likely. So for the original critics that said that the Stormcast Eternals were too good and too pure for a setting that is usually more grimdark than anything else, this new avenue into what the Stormcast actually are like after a couple of deaths really brings a little bit of that original Warhammer flavor to this army. However, while they may have some dark spots here and there, the overwhelming majority of Stormcast could be considered the good guys, especially in this setting. Their appearance is almost always a sign that the dark grip of chaos is about to get its fingers broken, and with superhuman speed, strength, and sparkle fingers, they usually do a pretty good job of it. If you're wanting more lore on the Stormcast, obviously the first place you'll start is the Battle Tome. There are also some great lore videos over at 2+ Tough that you should check out, and to go even farther, hit up the Black Library. My personal recommendation for great Stormcast books are The Plague Garden and the Soul Wars Sacrosanct Collection, but you really can't go wrong with any of them. Okay, so let's say you're ready to get started with the Stormcast, but you've gone to GW's website and realized that there's about 55 models. That's a lot to choose from. This can be an intimidating army to look at for the first time, as it's loaded with heroes and units that play all sorts of roles. In fact, that's one of the best things about these Full Metal Alchemist cosplay enthusiasts. They can become almost any type of army that you want. Want to run an all-shooting army that can easily keep up with any sky dwarves that you might find? They've got that. What about a melee-focused tar pit of healing and wounds? Yep, they got that too. If you fancy some magic with your maces, they've got a chamber for that. Dragons. Of course, the best way to collect a new army is by using the rule of cool. If you like the model, buy it. This is especially true if you're not trying to take the trophy at any big tournaments, which to be fair, generally isn't where you'll find Stormcast anyway. But if you're looking to build towards a list that really works well together, it's fairly simple to divide Stormcast into 3 groups: Warriors, Rangers, and Magic Dudes. Classic Stormcast is basically everything from the launch and the first year of the game. It includes a lot of infantry, heavy hitters, some cavalry, and plenty of heroes to lead them into battle. Getting started with this side of Stormcast is pretty easy, considering the vast amount of big boxes, starter sets, and start collecting sets. By far the easiest way in is the Thunderstrike Brotherhood, which gives you more than enough to fight your first few games with. Once you've settled in, you can pretty much grow this core set into any sort of force, whether you prefer heavy-hitting elite-style armies, or just having a lot of guys on the table who refuse to fall down. For the more outdoorsy Stormcast on the go, you're looking at the Vanguard models. Generally, these guys focus less on defense, and more on being way faster than your opponents expect, teleporting all over the board with wild abandon. Plus, they have bird helmets, bird dogs, and bird horses. And they also have birds. Getting started with the Vanguard, aka the Rangers, is pretty simple. Get the Vanguard Start Collecting box. After that, you'll probably want to decide if you prefer the long-range approach of the Raptors, the in-your-face tactics of the Paladors and Hunters, or a good mixture of both. Finally, we get to the Magic Dudes, the latest Stormcast chamber to be released, and therefore probably the most powerful. Even your infantry is a magically infused powerhouse. You've got battle wizards that beat people to death with big sticks, and one of the best endless spells in the game, the Everblaze Comet. Getting started with these guys is a little trickier since, as of right now, Games Workshop hasn't released a solo start collecting box. But if you've got a friend who likes ghosts, or you're interested in a little spooky action yourself, the Soul Wars and Tempest of Souls collections are a good jumping off point. You might also be able to find a Battle Force box released for the holidays in 2019 if you're ready to dive all the way in with a full army. Of course, this is just a rough guide to get you started. Remember, you're going to be looking at these models a lot more than anyone else, so you should obviously pick and play the ones you like the most. Matched play is only one way to play this game, so if you want to build and paint 5 Star Drakes led by a single heroic Gryph-hound, go right ahead. Thanks for making it to the end of the video, everyone. If you liked what you saw here, be sure to check out our podcast available on every major podcast network, or go to AtlantaWarhammer.com. Thanks, and stay safe.